Take the blueprint.
If you are not a traditional woman, do not expect to be treated like one. For traditional dating, the majority of the problems in dating nowadays all boils down to the fact that women do not want to claim their gender role, but they demand men to own up to theirs. Before feminism, dating was easier and did not have the problems of today because everyone knew what was expected of them. Religion played a part in it, but I'm not going to get into that. The women of today are modern women that work, go to college, are getting degrees and are working full-time the same way men did back then. But women complain because men do not know how to properly date women. The issue with it comes from the fact that if you are doing the same things men are doing in today's society and vice versa, you're making gender roles obsolete, which means that if both men and women are working, it really should not matter who pays for the date because both parties are equal here in terms of status. I don't agree with that. So it's not that men do not know how to properly date women, it's that men have just changed their dating strategies because of how society has changed women.
This is my favorite subreddit. Bitches only want to fuck Chad and that's all there is to it.
The red pill is dangerous. Psychopathy is not an inherently attractive trait. TRP attempts to simulate the positive aspects of psychopathy through both external and internal game. This is extremely draining to the average man, who has been trained to care for other people. Psychopaths only make up 1% of the population in the US. While I can't deny that it might work in certain occasions, attempting to acquire a mental illness is at best a stupid goal and at worst damaging to one's sanity.
Women over 25 in purple pill debate when you mention the wall.
Most women are in denial about their unearned power and privilege when it comes to sex, dating, relationships and socializing. This sub primarily focuses on social issues. Sex, dating, relationships, friendships are aspects of life that women have all the unearned power and privilege in. I detect a hint of arrogance many times from women on this sub, the assumption that some of the guys on here must be doing X, Y, Z wrong, or that some of the guys must be of poor character or personality, and that is why they have issues with dating, intimacy and socializing. This is privileged thinking. Most of the women on this sub are more successful than the men on this sub when it comes to sex, dating, relationships and socializing because they are women. That's it. Not because they are better people, not because of their character, not because of their personality. They are more successful because they are women. Society is genocentric, that spans the scope of dating, socializing, intimacy. The genocentric society we live in implies that damn near everything will be favored towards the benefit of women and children, irrespective of how negatively that affects men. I always see such disregard for any of the issues men face.
Female privilege does not equal pretty privilege. Don't get me wrong, female privilege does exist. As a woman, I can get a man to carry a heavy object for me just by smiling at him and saying I need help, because society perceives me as weak. I have certain safe spaces I can go to with just women so I can talk about the various things men, and occasionally other women have done to me. That's female privilege. But let's be honest, a woman who looks like me wouldn't get away with having sex with a male student. People wouldn't say nice or I wish my teachers did that. If an old, below average woman showed up on the news with that caption, she'd get no sympathy and no leeway. Pretty women like Amber Heard and Stephanie Ragusa get away with crimes like domestic violence and sexual assault not because they're women but because they're pretty. With men, the equivalent to pretty privilege is rich privilege. Men like Jeffrey Epstein and O.J. Simpson get away with their crimes not because they're men but because they are rich. The real war is not men versus women. The real wars are attractive versus unattractive, rich versus poor, or middle class.
Men are still expected to honor societal contracts while women are taught full hedonism. I'm having a formation of a thought that hasn't really formed altogether, so I wanted to see if I'm wrong about this. There's something itching in the back of my mind that says we still expect men to sacrifice for the good of society, but women have pretty much gone full hedonist and every decision they make is what's best for me. There's a long list of things that we, as a society, expect out of men. If a man doesn't fulfill most of these contracts, he's shamed as a low-value male and pretty much shunned from society. Feminism is fighting hard to make sure that any woman is not subject to any social contracts, and expects nothing less than what's best for me with no thought at all to what is best for society to function, instead of what is best for women. This is fine if just a few narcissists take this stance, But when most women break the societal contracts, it starts to cause problems in our society. A woman's loyalty is tested when her man has nothing. A man's loyalty is tested when he has everything. The handful of women I vetted and spent time energy on throughout my teens and early 20s either rejected me or preferred to ride the carousel, aka short-term flings preferred. As I enter the period of life where I am finally getting a foothold on the mountain of financial success, I think of this quote: "No one wanted to be a part of my struggles starting off. That's fine. I am not going to reward non-existent loyalty either."
Women. Whoa, I don't know how to understand what you just said, so I'll just call you an incel because having sex is the one value I understand. Both men and women are failing in today's society. I recently wrote a 12-page paper in my college writing class on misogyny and misandry. I used trusted sources from academic journals and got an A on my paper. I truly believe that men or women, especially millennials and Gen Z women, are doing evil things. I believe the same for men. I believe that some of these things that I see as toxic femininity are driving toxic masculinity and vice versa. I have come to the conclusion that both of these ideas are false. There are bad people and good people. Right now there are more bad people than ever before. I believe two main addictions are feeding this hate and evil in today, and they are linked and feed each other more and more. Women are addicted to validation, and this comes in the form of social media. Trusted source proved that women are more addicted to social media than men. Men are addicted to sex, and this comes in the form of porn. Trusted source says men are more addicted to porn than women. In the end, both women and men want relationships, but these are addictions that will keep them out of them. You will see men addicted to social media and women addicted to porn. But this is the important trend. Women can choose to not be a mother, regardless of whether or not it's best for society. Can choose to abort and to suggest she keep it in her pants inoffensive. Can choose to give a child to the state, let the state subsidize her choice. Can choose to change her mind, and understanding the sad haven law, can drop her baby off no questions asked. Can expect the state to force the male partner to subsidize her choice if she chooses to raise the child. Men cannot choose. Cannot choose. Cannot choose. Suck it up. Be a man and pay.